Hello again. My name is Dennis Karstens. I'm a retired lawyer and a novelist. I've written almost 20 books, fiction books, really good stuff. Here's some of them here. Anyway, that's not why I'm here. I was convinced that I have a lot to say and I should put it on videos and put it out on the internet for people to hear. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that feel the same way as I do, and we need to start communicating with one another. Anyway, this past weekend, historical events happening. Joe Biden has dropped out of the presidential race. I'm sure you've heard this by now. I'm not sure Joe has heard this by now. I don't know if Joe has been told this, but we haven't heard from him yet. But that's all right. But here's the deal. The Democrats are who are always telling us how they are the champions of democracy have decided once again that they're going to take their democratically elected candidate and throw him out the door, just like they did in 2016 and 2020 to Bernie Sanders, who couldn't possibly get elected. They rigged their election processes so that Bernie would not win and that Hillary would and then that Joe Biden would. Now think about it. They inflicted Joe Biden on us in 2020 knowing full well this man's mental acuity was diminishing. It was obvious. All you had to do was watch him, listen to him, and then they lie to us for almost 4 years about this, try to cover it up, them and their media whores, and that's what these people are. They're nothing but whores for the Democrat Party. I mean, it's sad how little integrity these people have. What's wrong with you? Anyway, so here we go. Now we've taken out a laughably incompetent idiot and replacing him with an even worse, more incompetent imbecile. They want to inflict Kamala Harris on us, who can't even figure out how to pronounce her name. Is it Kamala or Kamala or whatever it is? One week to the other, she can't get it straight as to how to pronounce her own name. And she has had 3.5 years to show us that she is capable of actually accomplishing anything, and she has failed miserably. And now they're going to run her for president. My problem here is there are probably millions of people who are still going to vote for this bunch. Now, I will admit, when I was younger, in my 20s and even into my 30s, I was much more liberal, as most people are. I mean, you can feel a little sorry for people who don't do very well and are poor and need help. That's fine. But eventually you grow up and realize that welfare was never meant to be a professional way of making a living. All right, it was supposed to be just for a temporary kind of thing, and that maybe we should be helping these people get educated and get into jobs. But here's the problem: Democrats have no interest in doing that. That's why they fight school choice to the death. Everything that the Democrats do, every policy they pursue, every program they promote is designed for one thing and one thing only, and that's to shackle as many people as they possibly can to some form of government dependence. And it's working. That's got to be the explanation for why people keep voting for them. They're dependent on these people for their livelihood. Now, one of the things that we have learned absolutely here this past weekend is that the Democrat Party is basically controlled by two people. Nancy Pelosi, whom we all, that should not come as a surprise. But Nancy Pelosi, if you listen to her, that woman is as batshit crazy as Maxine Waters. Have you listened to her? I care about the people and the children. The children are my main concern. I love the children. God help us. But the worst of it is Barack Obama. Barack Obama is easily the most overrated, mediocre president in history. I have liberal friends who think he's adorable. And I ask them, well, tell me what he accomplished. Tell me what his big accomplishments were while he was president. And I get the deer in the headlights look as if, well, they never thought of that. Because they never did think of that. He's a Democrat, and he's really, really cool, and we really, really like him. Barack Obama is still in charge of the Democrats, which is why Kamala is going to get, even though he hasn't endorsed her, sooner or later he will. I mean, this is inevitable. The problem here is that Democrats have no shame at all. And the reason for that, of course, is their sole reason for being is power. And their sole reason for obtaining power is making everybody dependent on government. And so that's where we are, folks. They want you to be at the government tit like everybody else and vote for them because God help you, if the Democrats don't win, those Republicans are going to drop you off and you're going to never survive without us. One last thing. They're going to try to run on abortion again, okay? Try to remember this. Roe versus Wade was decided in January of 1973. It was a fairly liberal court that did it. They had no business doing it. The Dodd decision was absolutely right. There's nothing in the Constitution that allows for abortion. And what the Dodd decision did was to tell people, hey, this is up to the states. This isn't up to us. We're going to overrule Roe versus Wade and act like it never happened. And now it's up to each individual state to do this. Now keep this in mind. From 1973 up until now, the Democrats have had many opportunities when they were in control of both houses of Congress, the House and the Senate, and the White House. They could have written up an abortion law making it legal nationwide anytime they wanted to. They knew that. I mean, this isn't a big surprise. They knew it. Why didn't they do it? They didn't want to. They loved having abortion as an election issue, and they've been using it to keep it getting elected by scaring the hell out of women. If you don't vote for us, the Republicans are going to come in and take away your right to an abortion. So you better keep voting for us because we're here to protect you. So pass a law and protect them. Well, they didn't do it because they're phony as a $3 bill. They don't give a damn about abortion because they don't give a damn about you. Enough. I'm getting angry now. Anyway, that's enough for today. I've ranted here a little bit, which is fine. That's kind of like what I like to do. But remember, your government, the biggest problem in this country is the government of the United States, including Republicans. There's plenty of Republicans in on this scam. Do not work for the American people. When I talk about the government, I'm talking about both the elected officials and especially the bureaucracy. The people who run the agencies and the bureaucracies are 90% Democrat. They don't care about us. They care about their own position, their power, their perks, the things they get, and that's what they're doing now. Donald Trump is certainly not my first choice for president, okay? I'm not a big Donald Trump fan, but I do believe he's better than the alternative, and I do believe he wants to go to Washington and clean out some of the swamp rats and turn this government around to start working for the American people again. So vote your conscience. Vote the way you think that are going to do the best for you. But bear in mind, the people in there now, they hate all of us. Anyway, on that cheery note, which I'm sorry I have to do, I'm going to, knock it off now and tell you, have a great day. Don't get too worked up over this stuff. This is a great nation, and we'll survive no matter who's in the White House. I mean, you get one idiot after another in there, we always manage to get by. But at least Joe Biden's no longer going to be there giving our country away to millions of third world indigent people. Thank God for that. I still wonder though if Joe knows this. It should be interesting to find out what happens when they finally get around to telling Joe that he's done and who it is that has to tell him. Remember, think with your head, vote with your head, and not your feelings. Have a great day. Thank you.